About dressing your children as tarts. I've got two young girls, and they're teenagers now. My daughters have never been dressed as tarts. And also the coy kissing of daddy before they go to bed. Surely they give me a kiss because they love me.
That depends whether a child is being taught to flirt with you rather than simply, I'm sorry.
Who's going to teach my children to flirt with me? That is an awful thing to say.
There are all kinds of ways of kissing your children, but there's one thing I'd like to say here, which is that kids don't have a single culture. They have all different cultures, and schools side by side in the same street can exhibit very different behaviours because it's the way the kids in those schools define themselves. So we have some schools where the girls wear their uniforms right down to their ankles, and others where they wear them as short as they can possibly get them. It's all part of the way they define themselves, and they can define themselves in opposition to a prevailing morality. When you're a child, what you're doing is forging your own path. Parents might like to think that their kids want to have sex the way they do. They're almost certainly wrong. But what we have got to understand is how creative kids are and how the development of sexuality has to do with their libido and their creativity.
But you did say what offended that father and might offend many other fathers listening, that there was something unnatural about girls being told to kiss their father.
Have you ever heard me use the word unnatural, David?
No, I didn't say it. Did
you just said unnatural.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No.
You said it was whatever you did say. What did you say?
It's encouraging girls to be coy and manipulative in the way they approach other people. And that's something that enters right into the culture.
All right.
And we want our girls to be straightforward with us. We want them to be good chaps. But most of the time, they're being rewarded for a different kind of behaviour.
That's how sick we are as a society. That people actually introduce sex into a goodnight kiss of a father to a daughter. That's unbelievable. Imagination.
Oh, my God. I very much agree with the lady in the audience in the stripy vest, and I have to say I do disagree with you, Peter, that freedom of information about sex is the root of all of this. But I do remain very concerned about the sexualisation of much of our culture, whether it's the soft porn lads mags next to the pick and mix, or the pop videos which almost inevitably have a very, very slender lady in a skimpy outfit showing lots of cleavage gyrating around. I'm worried about the message that sends to girls in particular, that what's important is the way that you look, and it's about that being a sexualised object is what's most important. I'm worried about the consequences, and somebody said, what did children themselves think? Well, the NSPCC did a study that revealed that 1 in 6 teenage girls from 13 to 17 had been pressurised into sex with their boyfriends. Girl Guiding did a study which looked at younger girls' attitudes. Nearly half said that the most negative thing about being a woman was the pressure to feel attractive. I think this is a major problem. Can the government have teeth and solve it all? I don't think the government can solve it all. This is a very multifaceted problem. It needs government, yes, to be able to regulate where that's necessary. The media does need to take a more responsible view. And it's not just the sexualisation. I mean, even children's television programming, even here in the BBC, 32% of the lead characters are male. You know, what are these role models that we're putting forward? But parents and as consumers can have an impact as well. So the campaign Pink Stinks, for example, managed to stop the Early Learning Centre from selling its dressing up clothes where the girls were sold nurses' outfits but the boys were sold doctors' outfits. These stereotypes seep into the consciousness at an early age.
Sorry, if the 32% of the heroes are male, what are the other?
Sorry, only 32% are female. Sorry, I got that wrong. It's a 2-to-1 ratio. Yeah, I mean, Dora the Explorer aside, you're not really finding that many great role models for young women, whether it's in actually goes all the way back, fairy tales, whatever else. I agree with Jermaine. We want to reduce this pure sexualisation, but you need to replace it with something else for people to aspire to. So it's not all about
one small point, if I might. Sex education is not freedom of information. Sex education is propaganda for promiscuity.
Oh, don't be...
Find out what they're teaching. Find out what they're teaching your children.